If you have a garden or landscaping, you know weeds are not your friends. And not all weeds are created equally. Some are more than a nuisance. They're threatening to agricultural production throughout the peninsula.
Someone who knows that all too well is our next guest. You know who we're talking about, gardening expert Ginny Rosenkranz with the University of Maryland Extension, along with Victoria Spice with the Maryland Department of Agriculture. Good afternoon, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
I look at weeds as a plant that doesn't have a really good press agent.
no.
Yes, but there are some plants that are bullies, and that's kind of what we're talking about right now. When you think about it, there's weeds and then there's weeds. And so the Maryland Department of Agriculture has made us clear that there are certain weeds that they're on the noxious weed list. And if they're on the noxious weed list, that means that they have to be eliminated. Or
Well, my joke is they're obnoxious, and that's why they're on the noxious weed list, because you can't get rid of them. They're herbicide resistant.
Yes.
They're being designated by the Secretary of Agriculture that cause adverse and threatening effects to agricultural production. And so you have to get rid of them, or else there is a civil penalty. And my job is to work with farmers to make sure that it doesn't get to that point.
Yeah, and you brought this, our friend here,
Yes.
along with one of those weeds that I don't even think you guys can see the top of, but what is that we're looking at there?
this is Palmer amaranth, and this is one that it loves the Delmarva Peninsula because we have really hot weather, and when it gets dry, it's hot and dry, and whether you have sandy soil or clay soil, it's very, very hot and dry. And that's where most of the crops go, I'm not going to grow so well. And this guy goes, watch me grow. And he gets to be huge. I mean, like Matt here, who's holding on to him, he's like 6 feet. So this thing gets to be much taller than 6 feet.
So
Yeah,
is there a
for sure.
chance that I could find that in my yard?
It can, because the amaranth family has thousands of seeds. One plant can do like 3,000 to 5,000 seeds. And the seeds are very tiny, so they can fall, but they can also be a little bit windblown. So yes, people can have them in their yard.
So then my question is, if you're going through your yard and you find something like this, what are the protocols?
Pull it immediately.
Yes.
Put it in a trash bag
Okay.
and get rid of it.
Okay.
Do not let it go to seed to see, is this Palmer amaranth or is this a different type of amaranth? Just
Doesn't
pull
matter.
it. Doesn't
Okay.
matter, pull it.
If you didn't plant it, pull it up.
Yeah, yeah. Now, have you seen any of these around?
Yes, unfortunately, Palmer amaranth is a huge problem on the lower shore. There are a few hot spots, specifically in Wacomico County, Worcester, and a little bit in Somerset County. So we are finding it, and it's devastating to our farmers because once it gets in there, it's an incredible cost for them to have to mitigate it. And so we want everybody really just to do their part. And if they see it, they can call me. I handle all calls confidentially and anonymously. So, if it's a neighbor or if you see it on the side of a road, I can even contact State Highways Administration or the County Roads Department to get rid of it. So it's just really important that, we can all do our part.
And another one you were talking about was Canadian thistle?
Yes. So Palmer amaranth is an annual, but it's still really dangerous. Canadian thistle is a perennial, which means that the root system gets really, really deep in the ground. In 2 years, if we had a Canadian thistle in this stage, this whole stage here would be nothing but roots.
Oh my.
It is that aggressive.
Okay.
And so you think, I'll just pull it up. No, you have all these roots. It's just crazy.
Oh my goodness.
So knowing what you have is really, really important. Being able to identify what the problem is and being able to go ahead and say, is this an annual or perennial? If it's a perennial, you want to get rid of it right away. Same thing for an annual too, because of the seed problem. But the more you wait for a perennial, the more it's going to be there.
Okay, so if folks want to think they have something, they just give you a call, and there's other ones too, right?
Yeah.
There's 8 total noxious
8
weeds.
total, but you can go to the website, the Maryland Department of Agriculture website, and see pictures of them, right?
Yes.
All right, good to know.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I have to go check because I know that I have weeds in my backyard, and I still don't know what they are.
Yeah,
so.
you don't want Victoria
I don't know
to
where
come
you
and-
live, so.
Exactly. Well, we're not going to talk about that then.
She come with her badge.
I don't need that wake-up call. Excuse me, sir, you have weeds. Yeah? I do know.
Jenny, as always, thank you so much, and Victoria,
Great.
it's so
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.